Hi, I'm Elvie, and welcome to this Q&A question and answer with Meadowlark Log Homes. So I'm taking questions off the YouTube channel, Amish Meadows, and I'm going to go through, see how far we get with a couple pages of questions and try to answer them. Rico asks, is it cold inside a wooden house? It depends what wooden house there is. Some wooden houses are very cold, but if you build a Meadowlark Log home, it won't be cold. You got those thick logs, they're sealed tight, and they're very energy efficient. They're more energy efficient, Rico, than a regular frame house. So it'll take about 20 to 50% less energy to heat it. So no, it won't be cold. If we have really cold weather here, it's always warm inside of our house. Braveheart asks about the auction. Do they finish them? In other words, do we finish the houses that sell at auction? First, I'll say, don't know when you're watching this, but if it's 2020, we are not having an auction in the spring of 2020 because of the coronavirus. If we do have an auction, once we do, many of the homes that we sell at the auction, we also go and we put them together, put a roof on them. Sometimes the customers build them themselves. Debbie McCorkle asks, what other foundation can a one-room with a loft, 1,000 square foot cabin be put on? The foundation options are slab, a concrete slab with a monolithic, which means a one-piece footing. It's a slab, and the footings are thickened around the edges of the house. That's commonly done in many countries. That's a European, that's the Southwest, the Southern United States, very common. We do it here, some not as common. So if you have a slab foundation, it's low to the ground, and the snow coming off might pile up. So we recommend, unless you're in a warmer climate with no snow, you can go ahead and do a slab. In the north, we recommend a basement, full basement, or a crawl space, which is a short wall, a concrete poured stem wall. And then the house is on that. Then that's off the ground a little bit, maybe this far. So when the snow comes off the roof, it doesn't run into the house when it melts. So slabs, foundations, a short stem wall, concrete stem wall foundation with a subfloor, a full basement foundation, insulated concrete form, which is an insulated concrete basement. That's the number one way that we do it, is almost exclusively the foam insulated ICF, insulated concrete form, concrete basement. So there are different options. The one option that we recommend that you do not use is a block foundation, where you have the cinder block laid up. They're not strong enough to hold the weight of a log house. We do not recommend a cinder block foundation. That's for a frame house, a lighter home. Our homes are too heavy. Stevens SPC Plus asks, do you come to Virginia? I want one of these. Well, Stevens, we can certainly send one to Virginia and build it for you. You just contact our office. Aunt Rowe asks, are you furnishing your home with handmade items? That will be the icing on the cake. Now that would be a question about our own house. There will be some handmade items. That's going to take some time to get all those furnished. I'll have to get by with moving things in that we already have, and then add some handmade items as we go. It'll probably be years in the making to get all that furnished. Timothy asks, why don't you use blue treated plywood for the floors? I haven't used blue treated plywood. And in the inside of the house, you generally don't want treated wood. It would be somewhat toxic. So the standard subfloor plywood, or OSB, Oriental Strand Board, is usually gold edge. Different parts of the country have a different color coating, but it's made for extreme weather. You put the floor down, that subfloor sheeting down. If it rains, snows on it, it's not going to hurt the subfloor. It's safe, it's non-toxic, but it won't rot or swell or anything like that. You can have 90 days of rain on that floor with no harm done. Jake asks, do you do cabins with saddle style notches? Go to the Priest Lake model on our website and the snowshoe model. That's my brother's house, the snowshoe. Those two on the website show that half notch saddle notch. We call it the Meadowlark butterfly saddle notch. If you go inside the house, the corners are staggered and they look like butterfly wings. The flat, if you go at the corner joint, looks like a butterfly wing going up the wall. So we call that the Meadowlark butterfly saddle notch. It's quite a bit more expensive. It takes twice as long to build for us to pre-assemble the home than the regular notch. It takes a lot of time. So it drives the cost up considerably, maybe 20% or more of the log package. Roland asks, no, he doesn't ask. He says, the Swiss Yodel guys killed me. Absolutely amazing work. I think that was an episode of Kansas, the house being built for Alex. They're up on the peak of the roof at sunset and they're yodeling. Now those are the Girard brothers. There's 4 of them, and yes, they do yodel. And they build some of our homes. Tundra guy asks, will you build these anywhere or only in Montana? We can build them anywhere. Montana is our largest sales area by far. Most of our homes are built in Montana, but we can certainly ship them and build them elsewhere. And here is a name that I can't pronounce because it's made with little symbols and Chinese. I don't read Chinese. I wish I did. This person from China asks, how much does it cost to build in China? And right now we've never sent one to China, but I'm sure it would be possible. So it would be the cost of the log package and shipping, but then there's lots of government approvals that would have to go through. We'd have to put it inside an ocean container and ship the log home to Portland, Oregon, to a company that would put a tent over the container and put a fungicide in it for 2 days or 3 days. And then they would treat all the wood to make sure there's no insects, no bugs, no spiders, nothing in that wood that would be going to China. That would drive the cost up. So if we're going to send a log house to China, it would be kind of expensive. And here Tim Groover asks, the Amish log cabin 26 by 30 being built in Arizona, how much for materials and labor finished, not including the land? And those questions are sometimes a little difficult or tricky to answer because there's so many variables. I don't know what Lisa is going to have in her total cost in the cabin in Arizona. Off the top of my head, by the time she pays for the log package and us putting it all together, doing some finish work herself, you saw she was sanding the interior herself. Being conservative, it's a simple cabin. She probably will get $120,000 to $150,000 of total cost in the house. And that's really a rough estimate. It's so hard to nail down exactly because there's so many options. AV Good asks, the Green Gables, how much does it cost for a log home this size? The Green Gables is 1,000 square feet. It's a 24 by 32 with a loft. You can look it up on our website, the meadowlarkloghomes.com website, the Green Gables. And that model, I usually would say, you've got to figure a low cost of $180 a square foot. So that's $180,000. A high cost would be $210,000. So $180,000, $210,000 in that range. If you do all the work yourself, if you're able to do that, it does take skill. You need to be a framer or a carpenter or a woodworker in order to do this. There's too much skilled needs to go into the house. You could bring the cost down below that. Mohammed asks, I assume there is no insulation in a log house like this. How the heat would be maintained? There's no insulation that we add because the log is the insulation. And so they are, as you've heard me say, they're very energy efficient. The log itself is very energy efficient. And as far as the controls, like in our home, we have a wood heat is the same as a regular home, or in the houses with the vented, ducted systems and the different heat systems, their controls would be the same type of heat system, natural gas, electricity, heat pumps, or whatever system there would be the same type of controls, the same heating systems in a regular house as a log house. It's just that in the log house, you will end up consuming a little bit less energy to heat it. If you have any more specific questions, you can ask a question in this video below. And you can also email meadowlarkloghomes.com. All the information is on the website. Thank you so much for your questions and for watching. God bless.